Hello everyone, hope you're all safe and well. Welcome to this program, Read Your Bible Through in a Year, and we are on day 50. And today we will be reading in the Old Testament from the book of Leviticus, chapter 25. And in the New Testament, we will be reading Gospel according to Mark, chapter 1, verses 23 through to 45. Thank you for joining me in this journey for 50 days and helping me to carry on this journey, for your comments and very valuable suggestions, etc. And please don't give up. Continue this journey to read the Bible in a year. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell icon so you will receive reminders and notifications. And also share this link with your friends and family. If you have missed any of my previous days teaching or explanations, you can always click on the link right hand top corner, and you will be able to go back and listen to whatever the explanations I have given. Okay, let's go to today's reading then, straight on to Leviticus chapter 25. Here we are talking about the Golden Jubilee here. What a coincidence. We are on the day 25, and we are going to talk about the Golden Jubilee here, how it is being celebrated, the Sabbath year. So this is a very, very important chapter as to how the Sabbath year is being celebrated. So I want you to read this very, very carefully, this chapter, because we will read about this in a later part of the Judges, especially in the first of Kings as well. We will be reading about this, where Naboth is refusing to sell his vineyard to King Ahab, etc. And also we will be reading about this in the Ruth, about this land, etc., Jubilee here, all those things we will be reading later as well. This is very, very important in the sense that the Jews, the Lord brought this law in order to eliminate the poverty. So that's the basic thing behind this law. Looking into that, we'll see the years have been divided into 7 sections of 7, and the cycle of 7. So 7 times 7 will be 49, and the last year will be the 50th year, will be the Jubilee year. This for 6 years you will cultivate, and on the 7th year you give the land rest. So this is very, very important that you need to know why it is like that. So here the debts will be cancelled, and any debtual slavery, the slaves have to be released, and all those things will be given. And also there's a very, very important thing I want you to concentrate is chapter 25 from verses 20 onwards. You may ask, what will we eat in the 7th year? So if you don't cultivate in the 7th year, what will you do on the 7th year? Okay, see, God's plan for provisions for his people. I will send you much a blessing in the 6th year, that the land will yield through for 3 years. So on the 6th year it will be a triple blessing. So it will serve for the 6th year, the 7th year, and the 1st year, because you have to wait for the crops to grow for 1 year in the following section of 7 years. So for the 6th year, so land will be yielding for 3 years. While you plant during the 8th year, you will eat from the old crop and will continue to eat from it until the harvest of the 9th year comes. So if you go through the maths here, it's quite simple. On the 6th year, you will have enough blessing for the following 3 years. That is, 7th year you will not be cultivating your land, so you will not have any yield. So you will be using again the 6th year crops. Then again the 6th year you will be eating, and 7th year, that's 1 year. The 7th year you will not be, that's the 2nd year. The 1st year of the next cycle, obviously you will start to plant, and it will take 1 year for the crops to grow. So the 6th year will be a blessing, 3 times blessing. So that is God's provision for his people. And also we will read about how if an alien comes into the land, and he will be how to redeem the land, etc. Those are the laws. So I want you to read this chapter 25, very interesting. And coming to the New Testament, we are reading Gospel according to Mark, chapter 1, verses 22 through 23 to 45. So as I told you yesterday, Mark's Gospel does not concentrate much on the words of Jesus, but the actions, the miracles, because Mark has written this Gospel to the people who lived outside Jesus' ministry. You know, Jesus was doing his ministry in the area of Galilee, etc. These were people outside Galilee, so he was concentrating more on the miracles of Jesus rather than his teachings, etc. That's why yesterday we saw the within chapter 22, verses 22, we read about the calling of the first disciples, whereas in Gospel of Matthew it comes only at the 4th chapter. Then we see Jesus casting out the evil spirit from a person, demon-possessed person, and also Jesus heals many. So when Jesus goes, today we are going to read that. So we read about Jesus going to Peter's house and healing a mother-in-law, and that evening lots of people bring their sick and Jesus heals them. This one we are reading on the 29th verses of the first chapter of Mark, telling it plainly, first chapter of Mark, verses 29 we read this, but in Matthew we read this only on the 8th chapter. So you can see from the 5th chapter to the 7th chapter you'll see only the teachings of Jesus. So here he's not worried about all these things. He comes straight away to the point. Well, the first chapter he talks about the baptism of Jesus, the temptation of Jesus, driving out the demons, straight into Peter's mother-in-law, and healing the sick. Next he goes to a solitary place and prays there, and the next he heals with the leprosy. So Jesus goes in a solitary place, that we read in Luke chapter 4, but here we read it in just the first chapter. And also healing a man with leprosy, that again we read this in Matthew chapter 8, but here we read it on the first chapter itself. It has taken 8 chapters for Matthew to come to this miracle. Mark chapter, within the first chapter, he has come to this miracle. So now you can understand why Mark's Gospel concentrate only on the miracles of Jesus rather than the words. But whereas in Luke, this appears on the 5th chapter. So this is the speciality of the Gospel of Mark. As I told you, the main 93% of the contents of Mark's Gospel is shown word to word sometimes in Matthew and Luke. So that comes to an end of the 50th day, and I will see you tomorrow, day 51, where we will be almost coming to the end of the book of Leviticus, the book of Leviticus. So we have already read the Genesis, the Exodus, and the third book in the Old Testament, Leviticus, will come to an end tomorrow. So thank you very much for joining. Till we meet today, stay safe, stay blessed, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.